I want to thank everybody for being here. Really appreciate you coming out. I'd like to make one statement before we start with questions, and that's just how much I enjoy coaching this team. Great group of kids. I mean, I trust them. I allow them a lot of freedom in what we're doing because I believe in them, and I've always tried to coach my team that way. And they're a fantastic group of young men. That many of them were here when I got here, not all of them, but we got a great group, and they've worked hard. Very appreciative of their hard work and where we're headed. We're definitely heading in the right direction, and looking forward to seeing them play. And we got a little ways to go in camp. I can't wait till August 31st. I can tell you that. I'll just open it up and questions as we go.
The experiences, and you touched on the experiences that this team has, how much better does it make, easier does it make your job knowing that you've got so much veteran talent back there?
Well, with veterans, it allows you're just more trustworthy. You know what to expect. And I think the best teams always have great ownership through their the senior leadership that you have. And we got a great group of seniors. I mean, we got 20-plus guys that are in their last year here. So that gives me a lot of comfort and a lot of ownership, allowing them to, take control of their football team. And there's an old saying that always goes, you're as good as your senior leadership, and I believe that. It doesn't mean other guys don't take a role in that, but you've seen the guys come up here, and we've got some great senior leadership that really wants to take control of where this team's headed.
What makes your offensive line as effective as it can be?
Well, there's a lot of experience there. You just can't ever discount what experience does for a player. As long as I've been doing this, it doesn't matter any level. When they have experience, they're better. They're just more comfortable. They're more poised. They're more under control. We've got 5 seniors there. We've got a bunch of starts in the offensive line. They're big and they're physical, and that's really the kind of team I want. I said when I came here, I want a big, strong, physical team. Matt Jacobs, again, has done an awesome job through our strength and conditioning program, our new strength coach. And these guys, they're good. They're talented. They're not only big and strong, but they're talented guys. And then the X factor is the unity in that group. And the very best offensive lines are always unified. They're servant-oriented guys. They just want to find a way to win. They like to run the ball, obviously. I do too. And, I like being around them. They're good guys. They come out to work. We have a lot of fun together because the game's got to be fun. But they know when to put their work in and when to get the job done.
Is that one of those position groups where, and you talk about trust, where you really have to have trust in what they do because you rely on them so much?
No question. There's so much going on there in just a split second with the movement of the defensive front and the linebackers. And the way the game is played nowadays, it's not nearly as static on defense as it was years ago. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. You got to have smart guys. I mean, you got to have guys up front that are smart, the Jacob Judds and Torgerson. Those guys, they're 4.0 students. I mean, they're not just smart in the classroom. They're football smart. And there's certainly a lot of trust. I love seeing them take the field, and I know Sean does. It's a good feeling for him to know we have that kind of experience there.
Coach, what will this year's team hang its hat on?
Well, certainly our unity and our leadership's a great starting point. I mean, we got veteran leadership. We got players that have played a lot of football here, so that's a great starting point. At the end of the day, though, we have within each one of us a burning desire just to finish a whole lot better. I mean, we were there, and every one of them touched on it, and we're going to learn from it. We're not going to let it drag us down. You never let one loss or 2 losses. You can't ever let that bring you backwards, but it motivates you moving forward. And the focus within our group to just finish the fight, do better, to do our job at the end. And I felt like that always starts with me. And we didn't do it well enough last year. We're a 6-2 team and sitting there ready to go to the playoffs, and we just didn't get it done. That's the bottom line. So there's certainly a motivation there to get it done at the end of the day. And we got good guys. They work hard together. They want to do it. That's the motivation right there. They want to do it. And they come out there every day and work hard for me, and we've had some awesome practices. And the one 2 days ago was as good as I've been around. And it's not easy in preseason camp to be at the highest level all the time, but they come to work. And I'm a lunch pail kind of guy. That's how I was raised. That's who I am. That's all I know, and that's how I want my team to be. We're going to come to work every day, play hard, give great effort, be tough, physical team, and at the end of the day, give it our best shot.
If you were so close a year ago, what needs to happen now to you to take your game and your win-loss record even bigger?
we just got to play better. You know, there at the end, we didn't play well enough on both sides of the ball, certainly. And you know, the one area we've made a big change here defensively. That was when Coach Elson left. You know, I had a chance to step back and think, you know, how do I want this to be different? How does it need to be different? And I gave a lot of thought to it. It wasn't something that I just decided there sipping on a cup of coffee with my wife and say, you know, I think we'll just go to the 3-4. I gave it a lot of thought. You know, how do we need to get better? And what do we need to do to create more problems defensively? And, you know, having gone against the 3-4, as long as I have as a coordinator, a head coach, a position coach, or a pass game coordinator, all the places I've been, I know the problems that the 3-4 can bring. Now that's, you know, it's not a magic formula just because you say 3-4. You got to have good players that execute the scheme, but there's certainly it's a different look. And Coach Grantham's done a really good job. I knew I hired a very, very good coach. I mean, his track record is there. He's a 3-4 guy, you know, with 10+ years at Navy, the years at Louisville. You know, that's what he's been. He knows it inside out. And, you know, I trust those guys. I'm an offensive guy. I trust my defensive guys. I allow them to run the show over there. And I put a lot of trust and faith in them. They've done a really good job. And I'm looking forward to them playing and seeing our defensive guys operate in this defensive scheme. That being said, you got to execute. Well, we got to execute better at the end of the day, Ben. We didn't execute well enough the last 3 games. We were in position to. We did. You got to finish, but you know, there's more than just the mentality. You got to play better. You know, you got to execute at key times, and certainly in the Southern Illinois game there at the end, we didn't in the fourth quarter. We basically imploded and didn't do a good enough job. So that alone is motivation. Certainly is for me. I haven't forgot about it. I feel like it was yesterday. And it drives me every day to finish better.
Where is this defense at now compared to when you first started? How much improvement has there been, you think?
Well, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I can, you know, at the end of the day, I think you look and you see how much havoc can a defense create, you know, whether it be tackles for losses, sacks. And there are 2 areas that we weren't very good in last year. We were ranked well below 100 in the nation. And our pass efficiency wasn't good. We couldn't generate enough problems for the quarterback, so to speak. The one thing that the 3-4 does, it balances you off and it allows you to kind of come from both sides. And I can tell you from a guy that's coached quarterbacks my whole life and have gone against the 3-4, and then if you stand out there, what Sean was alluding to, very, very difficult to see where it's coming from, where the problems are coming from. And that I think you'll see, obviously, us try to create a lot of havoc and a lot of different looks. And we're doing a good job of that. Certainly Sean can tell you that. It's not easy. The IDs aren't easy, where the blitzes and the pressures are coming from. And then at the same time, that pressure will allow, in my estimation, our defensive secondary, we've got good players back there. You know, we have to grow up, and we had some tough times last year, but you learn from those. We've got guys back, and they're going to be a year better, and we've added a couple transfers that are going to help us. But I think at the end of the day, just being able to create more problems for your quarterback pre-snap and right after the post-snap is going to help our secondary a lot.
What separates a Brett Taylor or Jacob Judd from their peers?
Well, they're both smart guys. You know, it's hard to be good at this game if you're not smart. You got to know what's going on. You got to have tremendous passion. And of course, you know, Brett is a more vocal guy than Jacob, but they both share the same passion for greatness at their position. They come to work every day. I know you can't accomplish anything in any line of work, whatever you do in your life. It doesn't matter whether you're in the media or a football coach or businessman. You got to bring it. You got to have a passion for what you're doing. The very best have that every day. You know, Brett's a unique individual. You know, he doesn't ever think he has a bad day. I mean, he's always smiling, and he got great energy. Reminds me a lot of Torrey Holt when I was with him, and that desire to be really good. He loves doing what he does. He loves playing football, and you know, that separates him in a lot of ways. Jacob, very smart, very tough, team-oriented guy. All those guys are. I mean, we preach team every day. I don't ever assume that. You know, it's something that you got to work hard at in building a team and the relationships within the team. But they're both unique guys. Sean McGuire, very similar, very vocal, tough guy. You love a guy like that at your quarterback position. I got a lot of trust and faith in Sean. He's proven that. I'm glad he's on our team.
What are some things that you've seen from Sean this year, heading into his second year as a starter, that have really impressed you as a coach, and I guess just in terms of improvement that
Well,
he's made?
well, Sean's always been a great leader since I got here. I mean, he was a guy who said, Coach, I'm ready to go. Right from the day I took the job, he was one of the first guys I talked to. So I knew we had a guy there. I think, until I got to know Sean and be around him on the field to understand what kind of player he is, it just takes time as you build through that, and then through the spring. I mean, every day he just kept getting better and better. The thing about Sean is he loves playing quarterback now. He loves that. He loves the pressure. I can think last year when we played Missouri State, great example. You're on the right track of your quarterback. We got to drive the ball. We had a big lead. We lost it. They came back. I mean, it looks like we're done. And I always tell the players, the game's never over till it's over. As long as you got time, you got a chance. So we get the ball back maybe just over a minute. We may have had just one timeout. And he looked at me and he said, "Hey, Coach, we got this," and winked at me. When your quarterback winks at you, you got a pretty good shot. And, it gives you a lot of, because not everybody has that. That's just there's just something different. There's a DNA to guys like that. And you look at what Sean's done here, he's won a lot of games. He's won a lot of close games. And that's not easy to do. And, he took us right down the field, scored in virtually the last play of the game. And, when the game, South Dakota's another great example. When the game's on the line, this guy responds. Some guys are, they're good in practice. They're good in their underwear when we're out there with no pads. And then there's guys that on game day, they show up and they're there and you can trust them and they're going to get the job done. And Sean's one of those guys. Even if he has a bad play, he's able to put it in his hip pocket and keep moving forward. And that's a testament to his toughness and his mental toughness and the way he goes about his business. He prepares hard. He takes great pride in playing what I consider the greatest position in sports and the hardest position. It's very difficult and a lot going on. If you stood out there just in our practices and see what's going on with those 11 guys moving around, it's a little chaotic. You better be able to process information in a hurry. But I'm glad that we have Sean. He's done an awesome job. He's been great with our young quarterbacks.
Coach, you talked a lot about experience and guys you have back. One spot that I know was really important to you a year ago where you don't have anybody back is that kicking game.
Right.
Have you are you getting there to figuring out who's going to be the guy, or are you going to try and test a lot of guys in the different spots this year?
No, we're getting closer. I'm not ready to name a starter. I think we're getting closer to that. Certainly, that's an area that cannot be understated. I mean, we lost a guy in Nathan Knuffman that did a lot here over his career, and not just as a kicker but as a punter. So, I would prefer it to be a split role, and that's the way we're headed, I think, if all things go equal. But, you really don't know till you get that guy under the gun in the first game, because kicks in practice are easier than kicks in games. I got a lot of faith in our guys. I mean, we got Nate Erickson's got a great leg. I mean, he can kick the ball. It's just a matter now under Adam Fellner, guy can really punt the football. A 6'4", 230-pound guy, who doesn't like a punter, looks like that. But still, our group is untested, and they're going to have to respond. I believe they will. I have faith that they will. And so only time will tell that. We work hard on our special teams, and we made great improvement last year. If you look at the numbers alone, we made tremendous improvement in special teams. But, this will be a different animal now, breaking in a new kicker. It's kind of like breaking in a new quarterback in some ways. Okay, so we're going to have to make some pressure kicks and come up big, but I believe we will. And we're going to have to be patient. I learned a lot about that just at Penn State with Sam Ficken, who struggled early on in his career, and everybody was ready to roast him after he missed 4 field goals against Virginia. And we managed him good, and we stayed with him. And he ends up being the all-time leading kicker at Penn State, and they've had some great kickers there. So there's going to be some growth there. I'm not expecting it all to just be smooth sailing. We're breaking in a new guy, but that's part of it. That's part of college football. We don't keep guys like Tom Brady till they're 40, right? So we got to break new guys in, but they'll do a good job. I got a lot of, part of it is just having faith and confidence in your people. Other questions? Anything else? Really appreciate everybody coming out. Looking forward. 217's right around the corner, and looking forward to it. Thanks again for being here, okay?